Well, from our end, we're excited. Obviously, we're still playing hockey. We've got 11 teams now. Everybody's trying to go after the big trophy, and it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks. And we're looking forward to Thursday's night's game. Want to congratulate former Badger hockey player Kelly Nash, who's the head coach at LIU, and first time that their team's going to be in the NCAA tournament, so big congratulations to her and her staff and their team, and we look forward to playing them Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. Mark, speaking of Kelly, forgive me if I don't know the answer to this. Obviously, that's why I'm asking. But when have you ever? I assume you faced a former player as a coach before. Is this the first time this has happened? And then two, was Kelly when she was here? Was she the kind of player that, some players you're like, hey, she's got future coach written on all over her. Was she one of those type of players?
At the time when she was playing here, those thoughts didn't enter my mind. But as she graduated and navigated as an assistant coach at a couple different places, and getting a chance to see her on the road recruiting and getting a lot of positive information about how she was doing as an assistant, then that makes a lot of sense. And as a lot of assistant coaches are looking for an opportunity to run their own program, and she's getting an opportunity to do that now, and obviously she's doing very well. So she was a nice player for us, a good player for us. I remember her scoring an overtime goal up in Minneapolis in a playoff game up there, and had a wonderful career. And now it's nice that she's giving back to the game and been in different capacities as an assistant. Now an opportunity to run her own program, and obviously had a very successful season.
You talk about this time of year how you want your group to be playing their best hockey of the season. Do you feel like they are right now headed into this week?
I think we're in a good space right now. It's been a challenging month. We've played Minnesota 3 times. We've played Ohio State a couple times. We had 3 playoff games within that. So you need to be playing really well. The way we have our schedule worked out the last month of the season. So we've had some good games. We had a little bit of adversity last weekend up in Minneapolis, but that's part of playoff hockey. And our league playoffs is a 2-week tournament, and I like it because it's a short period of time. And if you're successful, you get to hoist a trophy, you get an opportunity to enjoy yourself on the championship level. And then whether you're successful or not, it prepares you for the next. Our body of work knew that we were going to get an opportunity to play another game, which is Thursday night. And so some of the things we learned from our game up in Minneapolis that we didn't win, we take away, and hopefully it makes us better in the next outing.
Mark, the experience last year of being in the NCAAs and having to go on the road and play in the Thursday game to get to the Saturday game was different because it was a new situation for everyone. What did you learn from that? What can you apply and maybe what did your players take away from it on how to approach this? Because you have to win the first game, but you also have to maybe think of it as a 2-game week to be prepared for that.
Yeah. The tough thing about last year is, we're playing Northeastern in that second game after, a good hard-fought game against Clarkson with the same lineup they had the year before when in the game we beat them in the national championship. And so in their building, which made it that much more challenging because they hadn't forgotten what happened a year previous. So that setup was certainly challenging for us, and we were close. It was a game that, a bounce here or a bounce there, you end up winning and you go to the Frozen Four. And so this year, it's going to be a little bit different, going into Colgate, which we haven't played at before, but it's going to be the same setup. You got to win Thursday. That's the only game you're worried about. And when you get done with Thursday, then it's, a short prep and a day and a half to get ready for a game against Colgate in their building. Again, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult, but at this time of the year, what isn't?
Mark, how does playing in the WCHA kind of get you ready for the competition in the NCAA tournament?
That's what we've talked about it for years. If you end up playing Minnesota 5 or 6 times, or you play Ohio State or Duluth, especially late in the season, those are high energy games. They're very competitive. Both teams, bring a bunch of talent to the rink, and so it's those games that really prep you for the playoffs. And, if you're successful, obviously you're building confidence as you win hockey games. But more importantly, the teams that move on and get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament are well prepped. And so you look at what's Duluth's done the last couple of years, what Minnesota's done, what Ohio State's done, what we've done. When we get in the tournament, we've beat each other up the whole season. But, if you're healthy and ready to go, it gives you the best chance to run at the trophy.
Mark, Mark, in terms of Long Island, what can people expect in terms of their style of play? And, for those who are going to be watching on Thursday, what type of hockey can, people expect to see from them?
Well, they're going to be excited. I mean, it's the first time in the history of their program they're going to compete in an NCAA tournament at the Division I level, and so they're going to be excited. Obviously, they won their tournament. They're going to come in confident, and so you have to respect anybody at this point in the season and go out and do what you're capable of doing. So the focus becomes on what we're going to be able to do, and we need to play the way we've played the last month, and we need to take our opportunities and try to capitalize on them early on in the game. And if you do that, you can possibly end up winning the game. But at this time of the year, that's why they call it March Madness. I mean, we talk about basketball, but look around at different hockey games and things that have happened over the history of women's and men's hockey at this time of the year, and funny things happen. So you focus on one game, and that's your whole business is to get ready. And it's a business trip. We're not going out there to vacation or have a good time. We're going out there to try to win a couple of hockey games.
Mark, obviously the focus is on your team this week, but I'd be remiss if I didn't at least ask you about Tony's news yesterday, someone that you've known for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, when friendships are involved, it becomes harder, and obviously we're professionals and we're in the coaching ranks, and part of what we do is involved in the business side of it, and so we saw that yesterday, and for me it's just a sad day. I've known Tony a long time. We go back a long ways. We've been friends. We've been teammates. And so, as a coach, you see what they do on a daily basis and how passionate about and how they conduct themselves and, what they want to do with certain programs. And I got nothing but respect for Tony. And it's just sad. It really is. It's similar to what happened in the fall when Paul got let go. It's just, a good friend of mine, too. And we know it's part of the business. And yet when it happens, it's sad. And so my wife and I just sad yesterday because of the news.